The Sarawak State Budget 2022 has just been announced, and it's time for us to chat about it in detail with policymakers and corporate leaders. Join me, Mona Abdul Manap, for the Econ Roundtable Season 2 on TVS, Channel 122 Astro and MyTV. See you at the table.
จิตติจิตตังกัมปิยังมหาจิตติ
Tindakan surat sakon menimbulkan keraguan pada karaket. Karaket cuba menyiasat rancangan surat sakon bersama rakannya menggunakan jampi halimunan. Adakah karaket akan berjaya ataupun sebaliknya? Saksikan Love Destiny Isnin hingga Khamis 8.45 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
100 Hari Aspirasi Keluarga Malaysia diadakan di Pusat Konvensyen Kuala Lumpur pada 9 hingga 12 Disember 2021. Ia akan dirasmikan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri bin Yaakob pada 9 Disember 2021 pukul 3 petang. Pelbagai aktiviti diadakan. Orang ramai dijemput hadir.
Thank you for joining us tonight. You're now with me, Cheryl Shaminato, for TVS Nightline. Let's begin with the headlines tonight. Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg will face a four-corner fight for the GEDONG seat in the 12th Sarawak state election on December 18. Representing Gabungan Parti Sarawak or GPS, the Parti Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB president has for the first since 1981 moved out of his traditional SATOK seat and will now contest against three new faces: Muhammad Sofian Farisharbini from Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, Kamal Bujang Amanah and Thompson Anggo of Parti Bumi Kenyalang PBK.
Saya telah menyemak kertas-kertas penamaan tersebut dan setelah selesai disemak, saya berpuas hati dan memutuskan tiada calon yang ditolak kertas penamaannya. Dengan ini, saya mengumumkan calon-calon yang disahkan bertanding dalam bahagian pilihan raya TUN N26 Gedong adalah seperti berikut. Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Abdul Rahman Johari dari Parti Gabungan Sarawak JPS, Muhammad Sofian Faris bin Sabini Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, Cikgu Kamal Parti Amanah Negara, Thompson Anggo Parti Bumi Kenyalang.
Abang Johari has chosen to contest in Gedong, a rural constituency, after serving 9 terms in SATOK. The Chief Minister calls upon other candidates to comply with the instructions that have been set by the Election Commission EC.
Maka proses kempen akan bermula selepas ini dan saya harap semua kita yang bertanding akan mengikuti arahan-arahan daripada SPR dan juga pihak yang berkenaan mengenai dengan SOP yang akan dikeluarkan. Saya rasa bahawa dengan adanya pilihan raya ini, maka rakyat akan menunaikan tanggungjawab mereka untuk memilih kerajaan yang akan mengurus dan mentadbir negeri Sarawak.
Previously, the EC only allowed the organisation of political talks and speeches in areas with low internet connectivity for the 12th state election.
Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS, will launch its manifesto on December 8, with the guarantee of fulfilling every promise made by the coalition, similar to what it has accomplished and delivered since the 11th state election.
Saya yakin bahawa rakyat juga akan menilai apa yang telah kita laksanakan semenjak GPS mentadbir dan menguruskan negeri kita, dan insya-Allah pada 8 hari bulan kita akan memaklumkan manifesto kita. Dan setakat ini apa yang telah kita janjikan pada 2016 telah kita tunaikan. Walaupun ada pihak mengatakan manifesto ini bukanlah macam Bible, tetapi bagi kita ia adalah satu perjanjian yang harus kita laksanakan sebaik mungkin.
He told a media conference after the nomination process today. In connection to this, he hopes that the people of Sarawak can play their part in determining the future of the state under a stable government. Representing GPS in the election this time, Abang Johari, who is contesting outside his traditional seat of SATOK for the first time, will be challenged by 3 new faces, namely Muhammad Sofian Faris Sharbini of Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, Kamal Bujang of Parti Amanah Negara Amanah, and Thomson Ango of Parti Bumi Kenyalang PBK. Abang Johari chose to contest in Gedong, a rural area, after serving SATOK for 9 terms, and his 3 challengers are ordinary members in their respective parties.
The nomination day, which started today, saw 349 candidates that are eligible to contest, with 33 state assembly constituencies such as Gedong, Jepa and Telang Usan witnessing a 4-cornered fight. Election Commission EC Chairman Dato' Abdul Ghani Saleh said 24 dunes will see a 5-cornered fight, 13 dunes with a 3-corner fight, 7 dunes a 6-corner fight, and 1 dune will witness an 8-cornered fight.
He said this after completing the nomination process for the 12th state election candidate at the Sultan Iskandar building today. He added from the total, 82 nomination papers were from Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS, 73 from Parti Bumi Kenyalang PBK, 70 from Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, 28 from Parti Keadilan Rakyat PKR, 36 from Parti Tindakan Demokratik DAP, 15 from Parti Aspirasi Rakyat Sarawak Aspirasi, 11 from Parti Bansar Dayak Sarawak Baru PBDSP, 8 from Parti Amanah Negara Amanah, 5 from Parti Sedar Rakyat Sarawak Sedar, 1 from Parti Islam Se-Malaysia PAS, and 30 from Independent Party. From the total, 304 of them are male candidates, while 45 of them are women. According to Abdul Ghani, the oldest candidate is 79 years old, Dato' Sri Wong Soon Koh, fielded by Parti Sarawak Bersatu in the Bawang Asan seat, while there are 2 24-year-old candidates in the Batu Lintang and Nangga seats, fielded by Parti Keadilan Rakyat and Parti Bumi Kenyalang respectively. The EC also has formed 155 election enforcement teams to monitor all campaigning activities. Earlier, the nomination process, which started at 7:30 a.m., took place under the new norm without a procession of political party supporters at the nomination centre. All 82 nomination centres were closed at 10 a.m. this morning. Adding to that, Abdul Ghani said none of the candidates were of close contact with COVID-19 and all nomination papers were successfully handed in. However, he said 2 nomination papers were rejected, which involved a PBK candidate in Jamoreng and another independent candidate for the Senadin seat. Abdul Ghani also announced that the official campaign period has begun and will end at 11:59 p.m., 17 December 2021.
Multi-cornered fights in all 82 seats as nominations closed for the 12th state election. Gedong will be the seat with the highest number of contenders vying for the state seat, including PDP's President Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing, representing GPS. The nomination process of candidates for the 12th state election was carried out without hiccups this morning, with several state assembly seats seeing over 4 cornered fights. Among them are N52 Gedong, N75 Senadin and N21 in Tebedu. In addition to the area contested by the Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg at N26 in Gedong.
N52 Gedong will witness an 8-cornered fight whereby Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS candidate Datuk Sri Tiong King Sing will be challenged by 7 candidates from DAP, Parti Bangsa Dayak Sarawak Bersatu PBDSB, Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, Parti Bumi Kenyalang PBK, Aspirasi and 2 independents. Meanwhile, N75 Senadin will see a 5-cornered fight with the incumbent Datuk Sri Lim Kim Shin challenging 4 other candidates from PBDSB, PSB, PBK and DAP. For the N21 seat, GPS candidate Simon Sinang, who replaced Dato' Amar Michael Manyin, will contest against 4 other candidates consisting of candidates from Parti Keadilan Rakyat PKR, PBK, PSB and an independent. However, an independent candidate, Datin Siki Balari, stole the limelight by adorning traditional outfit of the Ulu Belaga people. N65 Belaga witnessed a 4-cornered fight between GPS, PBK, PSB and an independent. Meanwhile, a candidate for N56 Dalat had almost missed submitting his nomination form due to a high body temperature and had to be placed in the isolation room. However, an hour later, the PBK candidate Saleh Mahali was allowed to submit the form. N56 will witness a 2-cornered fight between GPS and PBK.
Gabungan Parti Sarawak Bukit Sari candidate Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said he will not underestimate his opponents in his bid to defend the seat this time around. Despite its reputation of being GPS stronghold, Tengah noted the other candidates were formidable opponents that possesses their own strengths and advantages.
No, dalam pilihan raya kita jangan pandang rendah. Mereka memikirkan mereka ada kekuatan-kekuatan. Kalau tidak, takkanlah mereka bertanding untuk apa. Ya. Jadi saya menasihatkan kepada semua, bukan saja penyokong-penyokong saya, tetapi rakyat pada keseluruhannya. Setiap kali pilihan raya kita tidak boleh pandang rendah. Saya mengakui ya, saya sepanjang berkhidmat jadi wakil rakyat, saya mempunyai kelemahan-kelemahan. Saya mempunyai kekurangan-kekurangan. Tapi syukur Alhamdulillah ya, disebabkan kita selalu berhubung rapat dengan masyarakat. Kadang-kadang mereka memberi pendapat kepada saya.
Meanwhile, he said, even though face-to-face campaigns are allowed in the Bukit Sari area, the safety of everyone is of the utmost importance. He urged everyone to continue complying with the standard operating procedures, SOPs. Awang Tengah will be in a 3-cornered fight against Parti Bumi Kenyalang PBK candidate Riyah Basra and alias Mail or Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB. In the 2016 state election, Awang Tengah won the seat unopposed, while in 2011, the PBB deputy president defeated PKR's Japar Suyut with a 5,063 vote majority.
Pilihan Raya Negeri ke-12 Sarawak. 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, persembahan menarik serta informasi tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri. Berita terkini dan komprehensif. laporan wartawan di lokasi.
Laporan Odlin Keteli.
Saya Priscilla Chua.
Saya Kaizari Afindi.
Laporan Salasa Safian.
Saya Lukman Muhammad.
Laporan daripada saya Jessica Chun.
Ruben Gomez.
Saya Studawi.
M. Haris Zainuddin.
Untuk TVS. Untuk TVS.
Sarawak Decides hanya di TVS saluran 122.
My background is Iban and Bidayu, so minat sangat dengan tarian etnik Iban, tarian etnik Bidayu. Tema wajib pakai kostum Iban. Sanggup cari orang yang ada sewa full kostum.
Walaupun saya sebagai seorang Iban, I don't have the chance to wear the traditional costume yet.
Saksikan Merami Cinta hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Welcome back to the Nightline. And now on to the next update. Facing two first-timers may seem like an easy task for any veteran politician in an election. However, Bukit Saban incumbent Dato' Ahmad Douglas Uga said he shall never be overconfident in seeking his second term in the Iban majority seat.
For us, we take election very serious. First, there should not be any overconfidence. We treat our opponent as opponent, and we must make sure that our machinery are all oil to prepare for whatever are facing us. And because our ultimate objective is to win, our ultimate objective is to make sure that GP has formed the next government, because GP has, the last 5 years, has proved itself to be a capable government to run Sarawak in terms of development, keeping people united in Sarawak and bringing prosperity to Sarawak.
He said this after filing his nomination form before returning officer Charlie Kaling at the sub-district office in Betong today. Meanwhile, Uga, who is the former chairman of the State Disaster Management Committee, reminds the people again to adhere to standard operating procedures, SOP said. Such as the Melaka recent state election, he says, due to the high compliance, the state which had held its election last month had not experienced any sudden increase. Uga from Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS is up against Parti Keadilan Rakyat PKR, Mikhail Matthew Abdullah, and Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, Andrea Dundang, who are both contesting in the seat for the first time. In the 2016 state election, Uga won a straight fight against PKR's Noel Changai Bucking, which he garnered 5,524 votes, defeating Noel's 925 votes with a majority of 4,599 votes.
On the other hand, GPS candidate for N8 SATOK, Dato' Ibrahim Baki said teamwork is crucial in order to win the SATOK constituency seat. Ibrahim stated that he is prepared in serving the constituency since the previous state election ended in 2016. He will be going against representatives from Parti Bumi Kenyalang PBK and Parti Keadilan Rakyat PKR, represented by Awang Badli Awang Ali and Dato' Dr. Noor Irwan Ahmad Noor, respectively.
Saya dan rakan-rakan kita work as a team, dan kita akan teruslah memperjuangkan kerja-kerja baik yang dia dah lakukan, iaitu memakmurkan kawasan ini, iaitu dari merancangkan lagi pembangunan di kawasan ini, membangunkan lagi modal insan dan memberi fokus kepada pendidikan belia-belia dan to create more innovative and inventive belia-belia for our future generation. Kita rasa rakyat boleh menilai lah khidmat yang kita beri, servis yang kita beri, dan mereka boleh menilai yang mana intan, yang mana kacar.
During the nomination process, Ibrahim was accompanied by proposer Hilmi Ofman and seconder Irwan Zulkarnain Muhammad Hasbi, which took place at SK Rakyat Jalan Haji Bol Hassan. He arrived at the centre at about 8:46 a.m. Prior to today, PKR has nominated Nur Dalia Asapian to contest for SATOK. However, she did not arrive and the party was represented by Dato' Nur Irwan instead. He disclosed that the replacement was made due to technical issues where its details weren't able to be disclosed to the media, pointing out that the decision was made several days before nomination day.
Demak Laut incumbent Dr. Hazlan Abang Hibni will not rest on his laurels, defending his seat in the 12th Sarawak election. Treating every opponent as serious contenders, Dr. Hazlan will be up against Parti Sarawak Bersatu candidate PSB, Amanah candidate and an independent candidate in a four-corner fight.
We are not complacent. We have never been complacent. We take everybody as a what do you call that? As a serious contender. We mean business. It is for the riot.
Dr. Hazlan will be utilizing the digital platform throughout the campaigning period.
We have been campaigning for the last 5 years, for your information, because we have been doing our service consistently. We have been bringing development to the area consistently for the last 5 years. And then for these 2 weeks, 12 days, we'll be using more of social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, video, live,
Dr. Hazlan will be up against Yatika Jelani from PSB, Muhammad Zain Peli from Amanah and Khairul Ahmad, Independent. In the 11th Sarawak election, Dr. Hazlan won with a huge majority of 8,539 votes against Muhammad Fizwan Zaidi for Amanah with only 1,157 votes.
Gabungan Parti Sarawak or GPS STAKAN candidate Dato' Hamzah Ibrahim pledged not to be complacent despite his years of experience as a political secretary. However, he vowed to use it as a foundation to fight for the rights of the community in STAKAN.
Saya tidak melihat jawatan yang kita pegang sebelum ini merupakan satu kelebihan yang mutlak. Saya cuma melihat jawatan yang saya pegang, pengalaman yang saya pegang ini sebagai satu landasan asas. Yang penting jiwa, komitmen dan semangat kita untuk membela rakyat yang kita hendak perjuangkan. Itu yang penting.
If given the mandate, Hamzah assured that he will serve the community well, especially youths, in order to develop the economy in STAKAN.
Jadi salah satu agenda saya untuk memperkasakan ekonomi pada beliau dalam kontestasi adalah memberi sumber maklumat yang betul, maklumat yang penting, maklumat yang dapat menjadi satu penyambung jembatan kepada mereka untuk meneruskan meningkatkan ekonomi beliau di masa sekarang.
Hamzah, one of the new faces unveiled by GPS chairman Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, emphasized that harmony and unity as the party's key attribute.
Okey, kawasan STAKAN tidak ada kaum yang dominan. Jadi perpaduan, kesejahteraan, keharmonian yang ada di kawasan STAKAN harus dikekalkan. Itu yang paling penting. Okay, kita sama-sama bantu. Tidak kira orang Melayu, orang Iban, orang Bidayuh, orang Cina, warga tentera, itu adalah orang yang berhak wujud tinggal dalam bumi kenyalang ini dalam konsep harmoni dan perpaduan. Yang mana konsep ini ditekankan oleh GPS sejak lama.
Hamzah is expected to be engaged in a four-cornered fight against George Yang Si Record Jr. from Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, Leslie Ting Xiang Tze from Democratic Action Party DAP, and Atet Dego from Parti Bumi Kenyalang PBK. During the 11th state election, Dato' Amar Muhammad Ali Mahmud, Barisan Nasional candidate, won the N17 STAKAN seat, beating his opponent Leslie Ting Xiang Tze from DAP with a majority of 7,042 votes.
Constituencies in Syrian Division saw a smooth sailing as candidates presented themselves at their respective nomination centre to file nomination papers for the 12th state election. Now for the full details, we have our reporter Douglas Elliott on the line.
Right, thank you. Overall, it was a very much orderly and SOP-compliant nomination day event at Tebedut District Office. The day started out pretty much gloomy as it was practically raining the whole day. However, that does not dampen the candidates' spirit, which began arriving before the nomination center was open at 9 a.m. And as mentioned earlier, GPS will be fielded by a new face, Dr. Simon Sinang Bada, and he arrived at the nomination center around 8:43 a.m. and was accompanied by proposer John David Nyao and seconder Councillor Asim Likin. Senior Willem Reid of PKR was the first to arrive at 8:05 a.m., followed by Jonathan Lantik Ok of PBK at 8:11 a.m., Raymond Auchan of PSP at 8:29 a.m., and an independent candidate, Roland Bangu, at 8:43 a.m. And at exactly around 10:44 a.m., returning officer Joseph Liao made an official announcement that it will be a 5-corner fight between GPS, PKR, PBK, Independent and PSP for N21 Tebedut. When met by reporters, Sinang Bada said he is honoured to be given the ticket to stand as GPS candidate and he would give his best to win to ensure that the legacy of incumbent Dato' Amar Michael Manyan continued in Tebedut. Meanwhile, in N22 Kedup, a 4-corner race will see Martin Ben of GPS up against Stephen Sungan of PBK, Dominic Dado Sagian of PSB, and Larry Jabal of DAP. And elsewhere in N23 Bukit Semuja, a similar 4-corner fight is set to take place between incumbent John Ilus, representing GPS, Brolin Nicholson of DAP, LC Tingang of PSB, and Edward Andrew Luak of PBK.
Right. Now, seasoned statesman Dato' Amar Michael Manyan Jawong has called upon Bidayuh voters in the state to be united as one heart and one mind. He said that only with unity can their voices be heard and continue benefiting from developments.
If we are divided, we have no voice, we are too small, and make it worse. So we need to be united. Ini awang, ini asan. Sehati, sejiwa. Sehati, sejiwa. One heart, one mind.
He added the Bidayuh community has enjoyed the great benefits of being with a stable government which provides them with facilities and infrastructures development in their area.
And I believe this coming election, after having with the government for many, many years and seeing the benefit for being with the government, I believe that the 8 seats or the Bidayuh as a whole will be with GPS.
Meanwhile, the Education, Science and Technological Research Minister, when met by reporters after the nomination day at the Tebedut District Office, said the time has come to pass the baton to a younger candidate.
I would like also to take this opportunity to thank all the voters who have been with me for the past 5 elections. As much as I would like to continue my service to the community, but I said many times that age is no more in my favor. So I have to pass the baton to a younger young man, Dr. Sinang Bada.
The Sarawak State Budget 2022 has just been announced, and it's time for us to chat about it in detail with policymakers and corporate leaders. Join me, Mona Abdul Manap, for the Econ Roundtable Season 2 on TVS, Channel 122 Astro and MyTV. See you at the table.
Jom bersama saya Khairul Nizam Naha mengembara dan meneroka keindahan alam di bumi Kenyalak.
Mengambil masa 1 jam 30 minit depend dengan kita orang komputer.
Banyak jalan tu ada ni kiri-kiri pasal baru tu.
Setiap Isnin jam 10.30 malam hanya di saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV. Jom ninjau.
Thank you for staying with me. Now, Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS incumbent for Asajaya, Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, is confident in facing his other three opponents, leaving it to the voters who are wise to understand the concept of democracy in state administration, especially in Sarawak.
Sama ada satu lawan satu ataupun empat penjuru itu tidak menjadi masalah karena hak mengundi adalah di tangan pengundi-pengundi yang ada. Dan saya percaya pengundi-pengundi di Sarawak termasuk dalam kawasan N15 Asajaya ini mereka sudah cukup matang berkenaan dengan proses demokrasi yang dijalankan. Dan
he said so when asked regarding the challenges which would be faced against the three opponents this time, compared to the previous state election with a single challenger. Abdul Karim further explained that if the mandate was presented to him, he will ensure all agendas for the Asajaya constituency will be carried out.
Ini baiknya dari perspektif pembangunan insan, baiknya dari perspektif pembangunan prasarana, dan kita dapat melihat bahawa dalam kawasan ini memang banyak sekali prasarana-prasarana yang baru, baiknya ban, baiknya jambatan, baiknya peparitan, sekolah dan sebagainya yang masih lagi dalam proses pembinaan.
The Asajaya incumbent, who have been holding the seat for 4 terms, will be facing Parti Keadilan Rakyat PKR Mahmud Epah, Ishak Buji from Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, and Muhammad Mahdin Saharuddin from Parti Bumi Kenyalang PBK. During the last state election, Abdul Karim won the Asajaya seat with 6,163 votes, defeating PKR incumbent Abang Junaidi Abang Gom, who only managed to attain 2,805 votes. And that concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. Here with me, Shorsh Metro, and I'll see you next time. Have a good morning.